Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good, sir.
Sir Dalton, how we do, sir?
I'm doing good, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well.
Good, man.
You have to accept everyone in?
Man, I put it to where I wasn't. I put my settings where I didn't have to do that, and it's looking like I still have to. So, I need to. I don't know. I guess I need to walk through it with Paul and let him show me how to do all this stuff. But yeah, I guess so this time. No big deal.
Are you streaming live?
No, I couldn't figure out how to do that either. I'm just recording this, and then I'm going to put that up onto YouTube when I'm done.
Did you put the link in the Ninja group?
I did. I put it in Discord, in the Ninja group, and the Forex for beginners. And yeah. So we'll see how it goes. We'll give it another minute or two here, and then we'll take off. How's your trading going, man?
Good. Really good. Really good, man. What is it? Let me look at my books. I'm still in a trade from this morning. Kind of went the wrong way on me, but it's coming up, which is what I need. And but other than that, I'm up 129 pips since Monday.
Well done, man.
It's that whole.
Well done.
Basically, I'm using banker strategy, but I'm scalping because I can't stay in a trade for more than a day. I just can't, especially if I know it's going in my favor. It's just I need to kind of watch it at some point. So it's going well though. Are you able to trade? You getting a little less busy?
No, I'm really busy right now. Hopefully next week is when it will. I still have like 3 or 4 weeks on this job, but this week I have to be there for the inspectors and things like that to get some things pushed through. But after that, it'll kind of go on autopilot, and I'll be able to spend a little bit more time doing this. But I've just been doing, placing some trades right before I go to bed, just kind of coming in and just kind of glancing at what's here. I did okay last night. In fact, I was going to go over a couple of the trades I placed last night using the Delorean and kind of show people what I'm doing on to do an entry,
Perfect.
I would really like to do the banker strategy with you, Tom, when you have time, and see what you're doing and see if I can work it into what I'm doing as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, because I use the Delorean EMAs now in my trading, so
awesome.
It's helped. So I appreciate you, man. That's I was looking for EMAs to use. I couldn't figure out which ones, and those are perfect. Absolutely perfect.
They are perfect, aren't they?
They are. They really, truly are, man. It's just like you said, holds true. Where as soon as that cross happens with the 5 and the 13, and it's either going to waterfall, it's going to mountain, get in.
Yep.
I use now the Bollinger Bands. I mean, it's just, it's.
You are using the Bollinger Band?
Oh yeah, because you're right. If it's hugging the Bollinger Band, it's strong, and then you can see when it comes out when to get out. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
So I pair that with bankers. It's just the banker strategy teaches me patience.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
That kind of who's teaching the banker strategy? Brian. Hey, buddy.
I can hear you.
I don't know Brian yet.
Oh,
I was on your call this morning, Tom.
oh, cool, buddy. Oh, okay, that's you. Excellent, man. Hey, there you are. Always gonna put a face with a voice. Who's teaching the bankers is I do a little bit, but Brian Knight does. He's like a master. He's been doing it for years and years and years.
Who is that?
Oh, okay.
I think Brian Knight. He's one of the. You know, I'm gonna do.
I know that Michael Angel Martin does as well, but
Well, I'm saying Brian Knight, the guy that's in our group, our
Yeah.
ninja.
yeah, Michael's in our group too, but he's got his own group similar to Freedom or Forex for Beginners or something, but it's called something else.
Oh,
Like I'm Jeff's my sponsor, so if I was to go with Michael would have to be my sponsor in order to get his teachings.
really? He's not a ninja?
He's a ninja, but he's also running his own business, it looks like. So, but he's building his own group, right?
What? That's if he's in our group, he should be
He-
willing to give up his services.
Well, no, he's providing some of the lessons, but his in-depth stuff is with a group.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but he is giving ninja stuff. Like he's got about 10 or 12 videos on ninja.
Oh, okay,
The
cool.
guides. It's really interesting.
Very cool.
So,
Okay.
Brian, are you a seasoned trader?
Not in Forex. Forex
Okay.
is relatively new to me. I used to be an advisor, but I was an advisor with a sales group in Canada
Mm-hmm.
for mutual funds and that kind of thing, not for this kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Very
So I
cool.
understand the markets. It's just Forex is a very different bird.
Yes, I really enjoy it. It sucks me in. Hey Noah, what's going on, man? And we got Jordan too. Hey Jordan.
Hey.
All right, guys.
What's up, Bob?
I'm gonna give it. What's going on, man? I'm gonna give it like one more minute, guys. We're gonna take off. Just last time we got like 8 minutes into this, and then a bunch of people showed up, so I thought I'd give it just a minute. Does anybody? So in this session, I'm supposed to hit any IM questions like transposing the IM stuff to TradingView, or any just in general IM questions, any TradingView questions like usability questions, and then Delorean questions and price action support and resistance questions. Does anybody have any questions before on any of those 4 subjects before I just hop into anything?
I wouldn't mind if you touch base on trend lines, how you find them.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I forgot what pair it was. I couldn't find the trend line, and I'm like, this has never happened to me.
Okay.
I think it was actually
So,
Euro JPY.
okay. So we can jump over to that chart if you want to. So I'm going to show you 5 trades that I took last night. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to show you 5 trades that I took last night. And on I think 3 of those trades, I waited on trend lines to show me my entry. So they'll be on that. And actually there was a support for one of my exits as well. So yeah, we can definitely hit trend lines.
Cool.
Anything else? Any other questions that need to be hit? I'm going to take that as a no. Okay, well then we're going to skip over IM, and we're going to skip over TradingView usability, and we're going to hop right into Delorean and trend lines and trading and all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Good.
Cool. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay. Gosh, Tom, is there any way? Do you know any way where I can make it where you can see if somebody tries to join? Is there any way I can add you real quick? Do you know how to do that? Or I'll just check it every once in a while.
I want it, if you go down to where it says more, it might be
I don't
there.
have a more button.
You know,
Are you recording this?
I am.
Good, because I won't soak it all up at one time. So
That's fine. I got security, participants, chat, share screen, stop recording, and reactions.
there's no, you don't see 3 dots with going horizontal.
No, I do not. Okay.
I'll check
No,
for Paul.
no worries. Okay, we'll hit it next time. I'll just check it back. I'll just check back every once in a while. I'm going to share my screen here, guys. Here we go. Can you see my screen?
Sure.
yep.
Okay, so these are the trades I took last night. So right here, I was talking to Brian Knight the other day, and he said that he tries to stay on 5 charts. So what I'm trying to do is stay on these 5 charts. He said, you know, it's like dating too many girls. You know, you don't know exactly how they act. So just date a couple so you can learn their mood swings and things. So these are the 5 he suggested to me right here. And so we'll just start at the top. CAD JPY is the one I'm on right here. Let me just go to this chart naked real quick. Oops, that's the wrong button. So this is what the chart looked like when I came to it. And I'm on the 4-hour here. Probably would have, I think I took this one. Yeah, I took this one on the 1 hour actually. So this one, I couldn't sleep last night. So we were right in this area right here. And obviously I didn't know that this was going to fall like this. So you can see here, I drew a trend line right here, Tom. I started at the top and came down here to see when this trend line was going to get respected or busted. I was curious if we were on an uptrend or a downtrend still. So I went from the last low, you know, in the immediate 1 hour section. This was my last low in my 1 hour, just regular chart. And so I drew my trend line from that low through this low. So right here, I felt like the uptrend was broken, in my opinion, and we started a downtrend. So I went to the last available high, which was right here, and I drew a downtrend down. This white dot right here is where I use these white dots to show where I entered the trade at. So I use this as my support because this was my last low. This is where I thought on a downtrend, this is where the market would be headed to. So this is a very small trade, but I entered the trade here. Well, we won't do that yet. So what I did, once I saw that it had respected my trend line and was starting to fall. Gosh, that's annoying. Once I saw that it had hit my trend line and it was starting to fall, I came over here to the Delorean to see how the Delorean was acting. It was waterfalling, and I was getting a good spread out from here. The 800 had just rejected it right here. The 800 had just shown a rejection, and now it was respecting this trend line. I caught it like right here at the Y. I was watching for it to bounce. It did bounce. It continued down. This was I didn't do a lot of research on this chart before I took the trade. So this was my closest point of resistance, in my opinion. So that's where I set my take profit at. I got this one right. I was able to hit this one for 60 pips. You can see this is my, that was my, gosh, that's so much information there. That was my risk reward right there, which was a 4-to-1. I don't guess I did get 60 pips off of that. It was smaller than that, wasn't it? It was more like 40 pips. So that was my first trade that I took last night. I do want to say that this looks like it ghosted, like it did a ghost bounce right here. you see how it skipped my resistance and it came down here and it did a ghost bounce. And so you say, you know, Dalton, I thought you said it always respects, you know, the EMAs. And if you come up here to the 4 hour, you see that it didn't ghost bounce. It hit the 800 EMA on the 4 hour time frame. So that's why you check the different time frames. Does that make sense?
100%. It didn't break structure, so it's definitely not
right.
It's not changing.
So
direction.
I didn't go to the 4 hour time frame last night. If I would have set my take profit down here at the 800 EMA. But since I didn't check the 4 hour chart, I set it up here at the last low because I was on the 1 hour chart here. So obviously I couldn't see the 800 EMA right here. So lesson learned for me because there is no real ghost bouncing. You know, it's always off of an EMA somewhere somehow. You know, so that was the first trade I took last night. Do y'all have any questions about that? Awesome. Then I'm going to keep moving on here. Sorry, I thought I had somebody. Okay, so the second trade I took last night was the Euro GBP right here. So let me take all of my stuff off of here again. Sorry guys, I got a stomach bug. My head is kind of foggy, moving kind of slow. So this is what the chart looked like. I was watching the chart. I think the chart was right in this area. Actually, I can tell you exactly where it was at. Yeah. So the chart was right down here in this area right here. I didn't know exactly where it was going to go. You can see I drew my down. I was really having problems finding the trend line right here. This was obviously a downtrend. I had the break of structure right here. When it didn't do a lower low, it went a higher high here, lower low, higher high, lower low. So I was obviously on a little downtrend here, but I couldn't find the trend line. It was making me crazy. I must have drawn this like 12 different times. I couldn't find it. So I decided this was the closest trend line I was going to get, which wasn't great. I didn't really agree with it, but I used it. And you can see I almost entered right here, and I set an alarm. But I didn't enter there because I just couldn't get a good feeling about it. You can see the Deloreans were headed up, but they weren't crossing yet. So I decided to stay, and I drew a secondary trend line. I drew a secondary trend line up here. The market stalled right here pretty hard. So I took it as like a small retracement, you know. So I did enter the trade right here. This is my risk to reward. It's a big risk, but I felt confident in the trade. I went to the Deloreans here. I waited for it to cross through the 50 here to make sure I was on an uptrend. When it did cross through the 50, I was pretty confident with how straight up these were that it was headed to the 800. So that's where I set my take profit at. I did enter here and I exited here, which was 28 pips. I did take that trade last night. I do believe I got a ninja up here as well. I did. I got the ninja up right here, which also made me feel good. You can see I buried in the Deloreans as well over here, which gave me a lot of confidence as well. I wonder what the matrix said. The matrix was in a buy as well. So yeah, so I did take that trade and ended up getting 28 pips off of that trade. I know that looks so messy. I usually run through these kind of one at a time, you know. But again, the Delorean was very strong right here. I was pretty confident that this was going to continue moving in that direction to the 800. Once it goes that vertical, it's pretty hard to stop.
That's not a messy chart at all.
Any questions about this trade?
Do you
No.
what are your thoughts on? Can you hear me? By the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ever throw a fib on this?
I do. I kind of play with the fibs, but I'm not real like confident with them. You know what I mean?
Got it.
I like it when I see other people use fibs, and I feel confident when they use them.
Right.
You know, but when I put them on, I don't know, man. I watched fib videos from like 3 different people on the IM Academy, and I don't know. It's just it's a little muddy to me right now, and I need to go back and kind of clean it up in my head. But no, I don't feel confident in my retracement tool right now. In fact, mine's just a little too busy. I need to go back. Let me show you mine. I set mine up. That's not it, is it? Oh yeah, that's it. I set mine up the way Manny Q sets his up, and there's just too much information here for me. I know the 79 we're looking for. The negatives here are usually the take money spots, but I don't know. I feel like the last guy I tried to learn it from overcomplicated it, and I just kind of dropped it.
It can get complicated and get crowded like that. That's why I just
did
a note from Brian, and it's been working great. Just the 71 and the 78.
Yeah, I saw his. His is a whole lot better than what mine is.
Super clean.
I should next time we're in a meeting with him. Yeah, I should ask him what his is set up at and copy it.
Well,
because his is good.
I could show you mine. It's the exact same thing as his.
Okay. Absolutely. I was sick last night and I just couldn't sleep. All I did was set an alarm on this trend line, and when the alarm went off, I just came in and placed a trade, and I was over it. I just went to bed. The USD CHF was the next trade. Oh my goodness!
Dropped like a stone at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, it did. It really did, which I missed.
Yeah, you and me both.
But I was able to get in on it right here. It was buried deep on the DeLoreans. I knew it was going to go to the 800, falling that vertically. It was going to go to the 800 and bottom out. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? The DeLoreans were super vertical. It was buried in the Bollinger Band. The 800 was just dangling down here on the 1 hour chart. That's about as textbook DeLorean as it goes, you know. This one, that one was able to get me, I guess, about 33 pips last night. For some reason, this one made me really punchy, though. It's almost like, I almost feel like this is like getting dealt the aces, the pocket aces in Hold'em, you know? Like when it's falling like that, it's like, damn, I'm either going to win this or lose this bad. You know, there's not going to be a lot of middle ground on this one.
It's almost too good. No, I know exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but it worked out. It worked out good. Obviously no trend lines on that one. That was a hard waterfall right there, and it worked out really well. That was just one of those things you love to catch. And then the NZD CAD, I said 5 trades, but it wasn't. It was 4. The NZD CAD, I caught this one. Again, I used a trend line on this one. When I first come into a chart, I have everything turned off, and I just find the trend line. Let me get this out of here. This is the trend line I decided to go with right here, which doesn't look great. I must have drawn it on the 1 hour. One second. So you see it busted my trend line here, but I was going off of this, but I entered the trade here. And when I entered the trade, the DeLoreans were crossing right here. The DeLoreans were crossed. Let's see if there was there was a ninja down right there where the DeLoreans crossed, and the matrix was on a sell. So yeah, those were my strong indicators. And you see it dropped into the Bollinger Band right there. And I'm really serious about it getting into the Bollinger Band, and it dropped into the lower Bollinger Band right there. So that's what made me take the trade. think this one was relatively small. I figured it was going to the 800. It's just kind of doing the whole up and down thing by the 800 right there. And that one, I guess, went for about 40 pips, which isn't bad. It wasn't a bad night. Just to be sitting around and messing around, you know. That was my risk reward right there. So do these trend lines make sense to you, Tom?
Yes, I guess the question I was asking is, because when I go to plan a fib, I need to find where the ultimate trend is. So I guess I should have clarified my question a little more in saying, when you go to try to find your ultimate trend, it's not evident. Like if you go on the day or the weekly and you see where the trend's going, like, and it like, if can you go to Euro JPY? Because literally there was probably 10 people that couldn't figure out where the trend was going. This is a good one.
So we're trying to find the long-term trend or the short-term trend?
Long-term trend, just because
long-term trend
for bankers, you want to, like, if you go to the day or even go to the week, almost either one, day or the week.
So this, to me, I mean, that's the highest high. So you would hit it like this.
Now go do an uptrend.
Absolutely.
Where is this going? I'm not trying to stump anyone. We're just trying to figure out where's the ultimate trend? Is it an uptrend? Is it a downtrend? Is it literally coming to a point and going to consolidate and spit out in one way?
He looked pretty in consolidation. Sideways.
Yeah, I mean,
right
yeah.
now.
Jose, you were on this. We couldn't figure this out.
He look in consolidation. He's still in consolidation area. But you still have this high, so probably it's an uptrend. Because if you look from here, you have the lower point right here in the bottom and then you have the high, then a high low. But for some reason, this one don't break the other one.
So it's not respecting this trend line anymore. But
yep.
I would see if it respects this one right here. If it respects this one right here and bounces, then it's going to bounce up. It's going. You see,
yeah,
I don't know where this support came from. I don't know why the hell I drew that, but it's on that support.
You see, it's supposed to this one to the last high break the last one, but for some reason he don't break it. So he looked like a downtrend. He still looked like a downtrend from the very beginning.
So this right here obviously is an uptrend because it's above the 50 and it just looks like an uptrend. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's go down one because the 800 isn't here. See the 800 right here. So it's going to want to break through. It's going to want to break through and come back.
I did this too, but it like literally snakes all through the whole chart.
Some pair they stay sideways, and that part is consolidation. You know.
I know, but I wouldn't know where to throw a fib on it, which would really be confusing to me, and I wouldn't know where to go.
No, but still, you're going to throw a fib at your trend change. So if you were going to throw a fib here, you would start your fib here. You could throw a fib here. You could throw a fib here. And if you thought it was going to go down, you could throw a fib here, because fibs are always going to be on your highs and your lows.
Correct. But I guess you just have to wait and see if you throw a fib right where you are now, all the way to the swing high, and that doesn't go down.
No. You throw a fib here to here and see if it respects here, right? Where the hell is my fib? So if we went from here, We need your fib. We don't need my fib. My fib's confusing as hell.
Yeah, no, because you would go right to this, right where you started, and you would go then to the highest point. That's how you throw. That's how I throw my fibs.
I've never been taught that way. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I've never been shown that before. I was.
Yeah, right to there. Because then what you're looking for, you see your 79 right there. Like you're looking for the 71 and the 78. That's the golden zone for it to drop down to then shoot back up if we're in an uptrend.
To me, the fib should be placed either right here or right here, like this. And then this would be your take profit. This would show the end of the wave right here. Because these are the take profits. The negative 27 and the negative 61 are the take profits. So this would, since it got it, this is called the golden zone, obviously, because these are gold. Since it got into the golden zone, that means that the trend, the way I was taught the fib, the trend is over. And it's gonna dump now. It's gonna go back down, which makes sense because it's headed back towards the 800 now, in my opinion. We should see where it goes.
The same.
And,
I think we have the same concept. It's that I think we were taught fibs differently, which is I don't think there's anything wrong.
Absolutely. No, it's all interpretive. I've learned fib from like 3 or 4 different people, and they've all done it different ways. You know, and they've all got them set up different ways. I mean, I was watching this one guy. He drew his fib out like this, and he was like, yeah, you just take it, and then just oh shoot, I don't know how he moved his, but he was like, just move it here, and then move it here, and then move it here, and see what matches and see what works. And I was thinking, my Lord, okay, damn, that could be literally anywhere. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. If I was doing this though, I would be coming right here like this. Like that. To me, this is how you're playing this chart. It's bouncing off of resistance here. It's breaking the trend line here, and it's coming to the 800. That's where I see this going. And if we check the DeLorean, oops, the DeLorean's already on. If we check the DeLorean, we got the cross. We're going very vertical here, right? An indicator says
Ninja down.
Ninja down, and we're hard in the DeLoreans right here as well. Ninja Matrix says down, so I think we're headed towards the 800. I think you get in this trade, watch it at the 2, expect it to go to the 8. That's what I would do. Probably what I will do, honestly. Yeah.
Look at that. Helped you out, and I didn't even mean to do that.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
Man, that makes sense, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Awesome, guys. Well, that's really all I wanted to run through, was just those trades I took last night. I want to try to make the DeLorean as accessible as possible to people. Just once you see it, it does make a lot of sense.
Well, I actually have a question for Brian and Jordan. Do you guys know what the DeLorean is?
No.
That's something that you want us to have Dalton go over, because he did that for us last week, and it honestly changed the game for me for EMAs. Like those are the only EMAs that I use now.
I mean, I'd be happy to see it because I know that sooner or later I'm going to look at it.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing this for 4 weeks, so.
No, it's Dalton's the master at the DeLorean. It's just, and he makes it so simple. So that's why I wanted to have him go over it.
Well,
appreciate it.
Let's see that skill.
Well, let's take a peek here. Well, we'll just stay on this chart since this is where we're at, okay? Tom, I was asking all the wrong questions. That was the right question to ask. So let's just do a naked chart here. Let's just get everything off of here. There we go. Okay, so the DeLorean EMAs are five different lines. It's the 5, the 13, the 50, the 200, and the 800. And those are symbolized by these 5 colored lines here. There we go. So the dark blue is the 800. So the gray is the 200. The light blue here is the 50. And then I believe the red is the 13 and the yellow is 5. Yes, and the yellow is the 5. So what we do is use the yellow and the red to time our entries and our exits. We use the yellow and red to time our entries and exits. If the yellow crosses through the red going up, that's a signal entry. And if the yellow crosses through the red going down, it's a signal for an entry. And also for an exit. It just means that the candles are going the opposite direction. So we see, let's go right here. See the yellow and the red crossed here. And so we would get into the trade. The yellow and red cross here, we could get into the trade. The yellow and red cross here, we could get into the trade. Again, here's a cross. Here's a cross. This is a bounce. And then we've got another cross up here. With the Delorean EMAs, we're looking for the red and the yellow lines to go vertical. The more vertical they are, the more power the market has and the more stability you have in that trade. So here, the yellow and the red crossed and they went very vertical. This is a very strong trade because the yellow Delorean is vertical. Same thing on the downtrend. We crossed here, the yellow and the red EMAs crossed, and they went very vertical. And when the candles bury themselves in the yellow EMA, which is the 5, that's when we want to get into the trade. That's pretty much our indicator to get in the trade and stay in the trade. Now we also use this for an exit strategy because just like there's power in the vertical EMA, the horizontal 5 EMA shows weakness. So we enter the trade here, the 2 lines cross, okay? We go vertical, the trade is very powerful, but then the trade goes horizontal. Don't look at the candles, look at the yellow EMA. See the yellow EMA goes horizontal right here? That means that the trade is done. The candles have lost, or the markets have lost their momentum. Right here, the yellow crosses the red EMA. It's just diagonal, it's not vertical, so that shows me medium power, right? And as soon as we go horizontal, we're out, okay? So I'm trying to show you, let's go back over here. Look at this cross right here. See how we cross right here and it's very vertical? See how strong this is? Strong, strong, strong. See right here how quickly the 5 EMA goes horizontal. As soon as it does that, the trade is over. Okay. Now here it went horizontal and we got out. If it goes vertical again, all we got to do is re-enter the trade. But more often than not, when it goes horizontal, the trade is done and we're headed the opposite direction. We're not going to re-enter this trade until the EMAs cross again here. But when they cross, we see that it's not a strong cross and everything's kind of horizontal. I'm not going to enter this trade. It has to be vertical 5 and 13 EMAs, the red and the yellow. The gray line or the light gray, the blue, whatever it is, shows whether we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. Okay, so if we're on top of this 50 EMA, it's an uptrend. That's a real easy way to tell. Okay, and when we cross below the 50 EMA, we're in a downtrend. Okay, so this is all a downtrend. Cross through the 50 EMA, we start our uptrend. If we're going back and forth through the lines, that's consolidation. And then we hop back up, keep bouncing off the 50 EMA, that's an uptrend. When we cross through the 50 EMA and start down, that's the start of the downtrend. Okay? Any questions on those before I move forward any further?
So you saying when the yellow and the red cross, you can enter the trade?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. If they're vertical, you don't want to enter the trade if they're horizontal. Okay.
Okay.
If you like see where my mouse goes. See how they crossed right here, but they didn't go up. See how they went sideways?
Mhm.
I'm not entering this trade. I'm not even entering the trade right here because see how close these lines are together? There's
Yes.
no power in this. What you want is for them to separate and go vertical, like over here. See when these cross, how vertical they went? This is what we're looking for. This strong vertical crossing. This real lazy horizontal crossing like this is not what we're looking for.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the 5, the 13, and the 50 EMA. This here is the 200 EMA and the 800 EMA. The 200 and the 800 EMAs, if you think of the candles, if you look at them, I look at them like an electrical current. And to me, this is like a spikes in electricity is the way I look at it. And the 200 and the 800 EMA, these two guys right here, are like magnets, always trying to pull this electrical surge back down to them. And we see over and over and over again, the market will bounce off the 200 and then go to the 800. And that's what it does. See, it bounces off the 200, goes to the 800. If you back test the strategy, you'll see this happens a lot. You get all these weird little spikes in the market and you think, what are these spikes about? Well, they're not random. They're hitting this 200 EMA or they're trying to get pulled to the 800. See this spike here? Went right to the 800. This spike straight to the 200. So when this market crosses, when the yellow and the red cross, so this is the way I would analyze it. We're in an uptrend, right? I don't really want to, none of this is really powerful, so I'm not really going to take any of this right here. This isn't a really strong trade, in my opinion. But I see that we're getting far away from the 800, and I know that the 800 wants back with the candles. So as soon as the yellow and the red cross, and then we cross the 50, and then the 5 and the 13 go vertical, I know that the 800 has decided to pull the market back down to itself. It could be the 200, so we're gonna watch at the 200 and see if it bounces, see if the candles bounce. But if they don't, they're gonna come on down here to the 800. Time and time again, that's what the market does. That's how I set my take profits. The market, see, it's like if you were to enter this trade here and somebody said, how far is the market going to go? We're going to watch it go to the 200 and we're going to watch it try to get to the 800. It almost made it here. It went back down, but it ultimately came back up to the 800. It kind of gives you an idea of where the market is headed and how powerfully it's going to move. When the market finally reaches the 800 EMA, it consolidates on top of it. And then the 800 EMA rejects the market and shoots it back out away from it. So here in consolidation, once we see it's at the 800, we're watching for very strong verticals. It's like liftoff, right? The 800 has rejected the candles and we're moving up. And then once we've reached the peak, we will look for the 800 to call it back. That's how I play the 200 and the 800 EMA.
So how long?
I'm going to turn these. Sir?
How long do you stay in a trade? Like this is a one-day chart, right?
Yeah, this is a one-day chart. So I trade mostly on the 1 hour and the 4 hour charts because I'm working. If I'm sitting in front of my computer, I'll trade on the 15. I really like the 1 hour chart though. I seem to trade on it more and more lately. I don't let time frames tell me how long I stay in a trade. I let the 800 tell me how long I stay in a trade.
Okay. So you use the Delorean a lot then?
I use the Delorean always.
Always. What about the Ninja Max and the Ninjacator? Do you use that in conjunction
So yes,
with this?
I do, and we'll hop into that real quick because
Okay.
the Bollinger Bands are with the Ninjacator, and they're my second confirmation. But look, if I was going to enter this trade, I wouldn't set a time frame on this trade. What I would do is say, I think the market's going to come to the 8. I would enter the trade, set my take profit. Like you got to kind of project. So the 8 is moving up, the 8's moving up. I think they'll meet about right here. I'm going to set my take profit right here. I'm going to set my my stop loss, you know, right here at the trend break. And then I'm going to let this ride until it's done riding. That's, you know, I'm just going to set it, and then I'm going to go away and go to bed and go do something else. And my phone will tell me what happened whenever it happens. So we're gonna turn off. So this is what I do. This is how I find my trade. So this looks like a good trade to me. So what I'm gonna do is turn this off, and we're gonna go here to the Ninjacator, okay? And in the Ninjacator, I'm going to turn off the ups and the downs for now. Ninja down. We're going to turn these off for now. And this is the Bollinger Bands. When you go in here, make sure on inputs you have apply Bollinger Bands, okay? And these have to be turned on. And what we're going to do is we're going to come into here to the Bollinger Bands. And the Bollinger Bands are this top line here and this bottom line here. And the Bollinger Bands really are an EMA. But the Bollingers are used for entries and exits. So here we saw the Delorean cross, right? This is where the red and the yellow lines crossed. Here, when the candles enter this blue line here, the bottom Bollinger Band, there's power in the trade. And this is where I enter, and I stay in the trade until the candles exit the Bollinger Band. Then I'm out of the trade. I stay out of the trade until I re-enter the Bollinger Bands, and I stay in the trade as long as I'm in the Bollinger Bands. You see, we've got the strong Delorean here. See, we've got the cross. We crossed way up here, but down here we've got vertical Deloreans, and we're in this Bollinger Band here. That is a very powerful trade. No trade is truly safe, but it's strong. And so this is a really good entry and exit tool. Let's go back a little bit. So look here, if we turn on the Delorean, we see we had a cross here, right? But then you say, how strong is the trade? Well, once it gets into the Bollinger Band, you have power. And you see it came out for a second, but it's in the Bollinger Band. When is the trade over? When it comes out of the Bollinger Band, which is also when it hit the 800. But when it comes out of the Bollinger Band, the trade is over. Here we had a cross. See the yellow and the red DeLorean's cross, but we did not enter the Bollinger Band, so there was never any power in that trade. Here we got another cross, but we're not in the Bollinger Band. To me, that's not an entry. Here it's like you got a stack inside the Bollinger Band. Here in this stack, we're safe, we're strong. When we exit the Bollinger Band right here, the trade is over. Again, we crossed, the yellow and the red crossed, it hit the Bollinger Band, we stay in the trade until the candles exit the Bollinger Band, and then the trade is over. That's my entry and exit strategy. Now, when you come over here and turn on the Ninja ups and downs, so see, we're stacking here for security, right? We're stacking indicators for security. So the yellow and the red cross, they went vertical. I've entered the Bollinger Band, and I have a Ninja down. So that's 4 indicators telling me that I'm in a strong trade. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How far will this trade fall? In my opinion, we have to watch it at the 200. It will most likely fall to the 8. Because that's where the market wants to go. And then, of course, now we have the Ninja Matrix, which I'm still kind of field testing, but we're also going to sell in the Ninja Matrix. So that's 5 indicators that are telling me that this is pretty safe. This is a pretty safe trade to enter. And I like to have at least 4 out of 5 indicators telling me that this is a safe trade to get into.
Just a question. You mentioned a few minutes ago that you would set your take profit and your stop loss and go to bed, and your phone would tell you what's going on.
Yes, sir.
But if you're watching the 200 there, or the gray line, and hoping it'll go to the blue line, wouldn't you have to have eyes on that?
Yeah, so if I was going to enter this trade right now, it would be a judgment call. If I was going to go to bed, it would be a judgment call. And I guess it depends on how much you're willing to lose or win, and if you're willing to wake up. So let's look here. If I was going to enter this trade, I would see here, that's 114 pips. Okay, that's strong. So I would set a take profit at the 200, and I would set an alarm.
Would you?
I would take my
down to a lower time frame though, because you're on the day.
right. Well, I'm saying if I was going to enter on the day, that's what I would do. I would, if it's 114 pips, I would set my take profit at the 200 and then reassess, because 114 is a lot of pips. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't even look like the same chart when you get down lower.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, look, we're right at the 800 here. Right at the 800 here, which could be a reversal. No. So given this, I would not enter this trade on the 4-hour chart. That's a whole different ball game. I'm wondering. See, I don't trade the 1-day chart very often. I'm sorry, I'm doing the wrong thing here. So here, this is the 200 here. So this is going to cross through the 800. Is what it's going to do. It's going to pass through and keep going down in here. It's going to look like it's going to ghost stop down here, but it's not. It's headed towards the 200 on the 1-day chart. I'm sorry, I'm rambling now. What was your question, Tom?
No, I was just because I know that the EMAs change once you get to the lower time frame. So when you said that's 114 pips, I'm thinking, yeah, because each candle's a day, but it has 96 15-minute candles in one day.
Right.
So that's why I know that the EMAs are going to change on you. So
drastically, yeah. Here on the 1-hour chart, we're taking this small retracement, off of a 1-day chart. You know what I mean? So I guess it depends on how you want to trade. On the 1-hour chart, we're taking a strong trade up, but the pip count is going to be significantly smaller. Is that right? 184 pips? Good Lord.
No, that's on the 1 hour, 100%, man. And that's fanning out nice too.
Yeah, it is.
To
So
be honest with you, I think this is going up.
Yeah, this feels like an up here.
Look at this. The 5. What is it? What do you call it? The 5 and the 13 EMA on the hour. It's starting to curl.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got a cross here. We'll just have to see how vertical it goes. These are flat bottoms here. So what I would do, I would not enter the trade until it crossed the 50. I'm not getting in until it crosses the 50 because I got to know if it's going to bounce or not. I'm going to come in here. This is where we got under the 200 EMA, so I'm going to put a trend line like this. Technically, the trend line's busted. I'm going to watch it and make sure that because we're on a downtrend until we cross the 50 EMA, right? So I'm not saying there's an uptrend trade until I cross the 50. If I cross the 50, I'll take the trade to the 100 and set a take profit. If I make it to the 100, I'm going to reassess the chart and perhaps take it to the 8 if it's still very strong. So I guess if I'm going to bed, I'm setting it at the closest EMA. Would be the answer there, and just be satisfied with. I would just have to be satisfied with that. But yeah, Tom's right. This is definitely headed up on the 1 hour. Anyways,
I follow NZD-JPY, and I feel like all the JPYs, they just dropped like a stone, and then they're all coming back.
Yeah.
Because if you're to throw a flip on this, it's right, literally, it's underneath the golden zone, and it's on its way up.
So that's 4 charts, and look how it's bouncing off the 8 right here.
Bingo. Yep. Like you always say, it wants to shoot back up.
Yeah, it bounces off the 8. Which it might make it to the 200. It might cross through the 8 and make you feel like it's going to cross through. Oh, it did. Look, it did cross through the 8 right here. And I bet you when it crossed through the 8, it was trying to get to this 200 down here. But it didn't quite make it. That's kind of a tricky deal, man, honestly, because this is saying it's a downtrend here. But these 4 over here are saying it's an uptrend. That's funny how that's contradictory. I've not really come across that.
It's this
We'll have
pair.
to see what that does.
It's this pair.
It's interesting. It's interesting
pair,
for
man.
sure.
It threw me for a curveball the other day.
Yeah, man, that is a curveball. Okay. So since we've got 4 charts that say it's an uptrend and 1 chart or 4 time frames that say it's up and 1 that say it's down, use the other indicators. That's when you're going to go to the Ninjacator and look for the Ninja up, the Ninja Matrix, and look for the buy, and then apply the Bollinger Bands and see what you get. See here, we're not going to enter this trade for a while. Look how the Bollinger Bands are still going down here. I personally am not going to enter this for a while. Until I get something from the Bollinger Bands telling me, see how the Bollinger Bands are horizontal right here? That tells me just be patient. That tells me just wait. Even though I got a Ninja up, I have to have other indicators tell me that it's okay as well. So the Ninja up says, hey, be watching for the up, but the Bollinger Bands being horizontal says just be patient. Just be patient, because my yellow and my red are just now crossing and they're feeling very horizontal right here. So don't enter right now, in my opinion. Don't enter right now. Just back off. And then of course we got the buy signal here. Very cool.
Right. I'm glad you looked at this one, man. Super glad.
This feels like it is already getting up into the Bollinger Band here, and those are flat bottoms. That's not a bad start. That's not a bad start, because they can be like, completely horizontal, like up here like this. You know what I mean? There's nothing here. But these flat bottom candles are good indicators for sure. But that's early. I mean, if you got in here and it went the right direction, that's a good trade. For me, I seek a little security. I'm waiting until it gets through the 50. I want to see the trend change. But we've got 3 indicators so far. We've got the broken trend line. We've got the Ninja up. We've got the crossing of the Delorean EMAs, which tell us it's headed up. We've got the flat bottom candles, 3 flat bottom candles, which tell us it's a strong change, and we're getting into the Bollinger Band. So we'll see how much strength the 50 has right here at blocking it. Hopefully we'll bust right through that 50 and make a run to the 8. That's definitely worth watching. I'll definitely put that on my list. Very cool, Tom. Very cool.
Oh, dude, you spotted it, man. I just wanted to know what you thought the trend was, so that was a good find on your behalf.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man. Oh, okay. So do the DeLoreans make sense, Brian, Jordan, Matt? Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'll study it more, but it makes it easier, like to enter the trade and see where to go.
Yes. Yeah, it gives a sense of direction to, because when I first started, when somebody said, oh, the market's going to fall, it would always be like, man, is this going to fall forever? Or is it just going to fall for a second? Or what's happening here? It was always, I always felt like I was in no man's land when I took a trade. And now with the 2 and the 8, I feel like, okay, I kind of got an idea. Even if it busts the 800 and breaks through, at least you know where it's headed, and it also is a great tool for consolidation. If you're on the 8 and the 2, when the DeLoreans go horizontal like this, do not enter the trade. Do not enter the trade when the DeLoreans are horizontal. But watch for the 800 to reject, because that When it rejects, it usually rejects pretty strong. I mean, look at this. It touched the 800 when it rejected here. If you ride this out, I mean, that's a good ride. That's a good ride. I think we just got somebody else in here.
This one group I'm part of.
Nick, how are you, Nick?
376 people liked my damn post.
Which one was it?
I stole it from our group.
What
Oh, I
was
thought
that?
they were talking to me.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay. Do we
And
do
23
we have any other questions? Comment?
Do you ever use the 1 minute to 5 minute, 15-minute charts?
I do use the 15-minute chart. Okay. So when I'm not, I'm a general contractor. When I'm not general contracting and I get to sit in front of my computer, I will play with the 15-minute chart. And when I play with the 15-minute chart, I use the 5-minute chart to show me my entries and my exits. I don't trade off of the 5-minute chart because for me, it's hard to overcome the spread. My broker has very bad spreads, which is Forex.com. So it's hard for me to scalp with Forex.com. I'm actually in the process of switching brokers, or I'm considering it very seriously. But on the 15-minute, yeah, I'll do it. But really, just more for fun. To me, there's more stability on the 1 hour chart. There's not so much, mental chaos, because the Delorean strategy is the same on every time frame. So you can either watch the chart constantly and get in and out, in and out, in and out, or you can just, set it and, get 40, 50 pips and not really have to worry about anything. It just depends which way you want to trade.
You can use a DeLorean on the banker strategy as well, or?
100%.
Yeah, Tom, you feel that because I'm not familiar with the banker strategy.
100%. Absolutely. Because it will tell you when you throw a fib on there. And you're
Hey, wait, Tom. Tom, will you just share your screen and just
sure. You gotta
show here?
You're gonna have to unshare
let me set you up here. Give me just a sec. Because I'm really all right, Tom. You should be all set.
Yep. Hold on. Let me get a. You said that your screen. Where'd you go? There you are. You said that your screen is sloppy. Ha. On that one, sir. See that?
Yeah. Oh man, that DMI ADX key level indicator is lovely.
Money, right? It's money.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I don't even use it because I haven't practiced with it, but man, it's good.
It's lethal. It's when you pair everything together, man, it's super lethal. I'm toying with it now before I unleash the fury. So I gotta turn all this off. So my charts look really sloppy, but I understand them. So if we were to go on the British, the British pound, Canadian dollar. Let me just turn everything off. It'll make more sense. I'll even get rid of these drawings. There we go. So if I was to look at this chart, let's do that. If I was to look at this chart, first things first, what I would do, go to the day, find out where the trend is. If I can't find it, I'll go to the week. So ultimately, that looks to me, it's a downtrend. Just real quick looking at it. Then I go to the hour. From here, I'm going to throw a fib from the lowest low to the highest high. And this is what my fib looks like. The only problem is you have to do it on normal candles. I'm just going to show you my steps real quick, so I don't want to interfere with what Dalton's doing, but it'll make more sense.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I find the lowest low, and you have to do it on normal candles. That is not a fib, you sandbagging son of a. That's a fib. Find it lowest low, right? And I go right to the candle. I don't go to the wick. I go to the candle. Come all the way up. See how my fib's a lot different?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do from here is go to the highest high. Go to the candle on this one. And then from here, I'm looking at the 71 and the 78. I just literally threw on the 88 just because if you take a look, these three act as great support and resistance.
Mm-hmm.
See, they literally feed right into there. And that's what we're looking for. Because what the bank's want to do is it's going to start retracing back down. That's the whole point of this. As soon as it enters in this zone, what happens is when it's on its way down, most retail traders, they think it's on a downtrend. So then they put their, like probably right here in some way, shape, or form, they'll get in on a sell because they're like, oh, it's going down. Because they'll look at it the 1 hour. They don't do a top-down analysis, which top-down analysis, day, the 4 hour, the hour, so on and so forth. So you can see the alternate trend. And then what they do is once they get in this zone, they'll do a pullback. They'll work down like this, here, down here, back up here, possibly all the way down. And then right here, people are thinking it's a sell. And then they freaking shoot it up on you like this. And that's where we capitalize on it. Once it starts moving up, that's when you get in and you catch all the pips coming up. So from here.
So you're doing, I'm sorry, you're doing the Delorean and all that down here on the 88. Is that the banker strategy when you're waiting for it to come back down to the 88 and then you do the buy?
Well, I've turned this, I can't wait this long. Like I'm thinking to myself one day, I'm like, I'm waiting for this thing to drop. I know it's going to drop. It's already started dropping. Why the hell don't I pick up some pips on the way down?
Right.
Right? Because I don't need,
Right.
For me to grow my account, I just need 10 pips. That's it. If I get on the way down, if I get 20, if I get 30, if I get 40, it's a fucking win-win. And then once it gets down in the golden zone and it starts making its way up, I'm going to double dip.
Right.
And working. So now from here, I go to Heikenashi's. I want to see the trend. So it already made its way down, coming back up a little bit. It's going to make its way down. As you can see, it's already started. So what I do from here is I get on the Delorean. And now I see basically where it's going to go. That's where I put my Bollinger Band. Right now it's kind of just, it's consolidating. It's going to want to drop. And I also use the matrix on here. So this is how I'm using the Delorean. So basically like how you're using it. Just, I mean, I'm using it for the way down. I'm also using it for the way up.
It's very interesting, man.
I mean, it's not only taught me patience, but it's literally like it's setting everything up. Like I know the direction it's going. It's just when it's going to go. The Delorean helps with that because especially for the 5 and the 13, I get to see that turnaround. I mean, from here, I just got to set an alert. I actually already have them all over here. And these are the only 4 pairs that I trade. Going back to what Brian does, I found the only pair that I trade that he teach, well, these two, USD CHF, Euro AUD, but NZD JPY, GBP CAD, those are mine. Well, not mine, but I mean, these are the only 4 pairs I trade. So if I'm on the scanner and I see something else, I stay away. Just my rules. So this is how I'm using the Delorean. I think I got like right here. You see that cross? Getting its fanning out. That's how I use it. I mean, these are just right here. If you were to get in right underneath that cross and it's right in that Bollinger Band, man, just like you said, like I'd be super pumped with, you know, that many pips, 73 pips.
Yeah, that's a money trade. You've got the matrix saying sell, you've got the ninja down, you've got the EMA cross, and you're in the Bollinger Band. That's as good as it gets, in my opinion. And it's bouncing. It's coming off consolidation at the 800. That's a great trade to take.
And then this right here.
Yeah.
Have you used this before?
I'm learning it. I don't use it. Well, you know what I mean? Like, it's on my chart, but I don't I don't use it to trade. I'm learning it so that I can use it to trade. You know what I mean?
How exactly that worked?
So if you take a look right where I put this,
Okay.
these lines right here. So the red line, if it's above, it's in a sell. If the blue line is above it, it's in a buy. If you can obviously just take a look between these two parallel lines, this is evident here. What we drew right here, this yellow line, it's the 40%, right? It's right at the 40. So when you're seeing this orange line come across, when it literally meets right at that 40 line, that's when you get in. See how it rides. Once it comes down and it hits that 40 again, that's when you get out. And this is not just by coincidence. Look at this. This is literally, if I went parallel line to parallel line, it's 70 pips right there.
Doesn't that sort of mirror the matrix?
Yeah, it's just another probability stacked. 100% it mirrors the matrix.
Yeah, you can see in the colors. Pretty almost
Look
there.
at this. Look at this. Let's show another one. Look right here. You can literally just trade off this one indicator. I'm not even looking down at the chart. I'm not looking at the candles at all. I'm just looking at this. So I'm seeing a red is on top and it's pretty high, so it's pretty strong. That means it's a strong downtrend. It hits this right here, and I'm literally just going to draw parallel lines. I'm not looking at the candles whatsoever. From here, it comes back down and hits that yellow 40 line. I'm talking, and the orange comes up, comes back down, hits the 40. Look at that chart down there. I did not look at the candles one bit.
Yeah.
It's a great tool. It's a really, really great tool.
It's super simple. Look at that. There's 80 pips right there you could have picked up by literally just following this right here. I'm not going to look once again. I just looked up here. I'm going to draw literally a horizontal line right there.
The blue line going up.
And a blue horizontal line right where it exits. Look at blues up top. Look at that uptrend. And then look at the matrix. The matrix is all blue. The only thing this doesn't have is a ninja up. But this is going to help you get in the trade. The blue matrix is going to help you stay in it. And then this coming down is going to help you get out of it.
Yep.
Now pair that with the Delorean, pair that with a fib. Like if I throw a fib on this, which obviously I do have, if I see this same scenario over here in a red, I'm getting all those pips. Just because I know that it's going down into the golden zone. Probability, 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 probability. Once you have all of that, this isn't gambling. It's give me all the damn money, bank. So,
yeah, I feel pretty confident when I'm entering a trade at this point. I feel pretty confident. Last night I won 5 and lost 2, which is
that's
I hate losing trades, but it's fine, you know.
If your risk to reward is spot on, you could win 2 and lose 5 and still be up.
Right.
So.
Right.
I don't want to, once again, I don't want to take over, but did that help in any way, shape, or form, guys?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm interested in a banker strategy because it just seems like you're able to follow what the banks are doing. And if you can catch a ride onto that, then you can make money. It's the other way. I'm almost feel like I'm gambling, but that's an experience as well.
Mhm.
Feeling those things, because you're looking at it and saying, "Gee, I thought it was going down, it went up." And so what did I miss here? But the banker strategy seems to give just a little bit more stability into your analyzing.
No, it gives validity to it 100%. Absolutely. As long as it goes in the direction. That's why I asked Dalton if he can find me what the ultimate trend was on Euro JPY. Because if you don't know the ultimate trend and you put a fib on it that's going up and you don't know, that's gambling.
Yeah.
Like I'll show, sorry, one more time. This will make a lot more sense. And then I got to get going because I got to do work. Another clean chart. So, what the fuck?
You got a pitchfork on there too, huh?
Well, I use it all. This is this is NZD-JPY. It looks super, doesn't it look just like Euro JPY?
Mm-hmm.
Literally mimics it. So this is literally, guys, this is an evident uptrend. So for me to draw a fib on this, right here, you can kind of see my fib along with my pitchfork. I normally would clean this up, but I'm waiting for this to jump up, if that makes sense. So it's riding it nice and low. Here's the pitchfork. Morning.
What chart is this, Tom?
1 hour.
What's that again? Say it again, guys.
I didn't know what chart it was. It's I see it though. I just want to get online with it.
Yep, NZD-JPY, just like Euro JPY, but this is an evident uptrend. So if I find the ultimate trend, I can find the direction that's ultimately going. And this is another thing that helps. This is the sediment. This is a huge thing that the bankers use. So NZD-JPY. Right here. So if you take a look at this, this is a 72% of the retail traders are going short. 28% are going long. If the trend's a buy and the banks know this, the banks are going to take all their damn money. But guess what? They're not going to take mine because I know it's an uptrend and I'm waiting for it to go up. This thing's beautiful. Like the bankers are geniuses for creating this.
Where are you at on this? How are we getting to this?
The sediment.
The MyFX book. What tab are you on?
So if you go into my FX book, literally right here under community, and then right underneath community, you see sediment.
Okay.
Red mean that is still in a sell zone.
So right here, yeah, the red means sell. If you say short means sell and long means
The green.
goes by, yeah. And usually if you take a look at this, I guarantee you the trend on this one, Euro AUD, it's in a buy trend. But it's basically telling you what basically the market is doing or what the retail traders are doing. Look into that for sure. All right, I'm gonna stop trading. I'm gonna start trading. Sorry, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Hey, Brian. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
No, you're good. I'm gonna have to jet, gentlemen. I got a bunch of work that I have to do for my other business. So it's been fun. I'll let you leave this to this. If you have any questions, hit me up. Dalton, killer job as always. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. And always, guys, remember, go Bills.
Yeah, right.
Come on, guys, Buffalo Bills.
That was a funny joke. Brian, I was going to tell you, one thing I've learned about doing Forex is that there's no like right way, like perfect way. You have to find the indicators that speak to you. And I think that takes a little shopping, and experimentation, but you have to find indicators, I'd say 5 indicators that somehow they just speak to you. Somehow they make sense and you trust what they're showing you. Jeff trades differently than I do. Brian trades differently than I do. Tom trades differently than I do. Janice trades differently than I do. And everybody, even me and Tom, we're using a lot of the same indicators, but not using them the same way, even really, So if the banker strategy is something you like, by all means, use it. And then shop these other indicators. And you've got to make your own style. We use the IM Academy to give us the ups and downs, where might the market change, and then the banker strategy, like Tom was doing, we're looking for swings. We're looking, where's the market going to change, right? But still, you're going to have an indicator that tells you this is it. This is where it's turning finally, So just go play with the indicators. To me, it's the Delorean and the Bollinger Bands. Then, of course, the Ninja up and down. To me, I can trust those. Those speak to me, especially the Delorean and the Bollinger Bands. Those 2. Once those happen, I have found that they it doesn't feel like gambling to me. It feels like it's kind of locked in, and I just gotta watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just find.
When I kind of say like gambling and stuff like that, it's because I'm so new to it.
Right.
Being 4 weeks and trying to learn even just the lingo, of all the terminology that's being used, and the charts and everything else. I know I'll settle in and get something going, but it takes a while to just learn, just to soak it in. There's a huge learning curve.
Yes, it is definitely information overload, and it did feel like gambling when I was first doing it, or a lot of chance. And I guess really it is, because nobody really knows what's going to happen. But to me, the market has already moved, and I'm riding the move. I'm not trying to predict the move. I'm just identifying the move and then riding the move, and I know how to tell when the move is over. You know what I mean? So I found my little niche. I can't tell you when it's going to change. I can just tell you when it has changed, and I can identify that early. A lot of these guys can identify the change, and that's just not my trading style, But yeah, definitely stay with it, and you will get it. You got, like you said, you got to give your brain time to filter this. Are you in the IM Academy? Do you listen to Manny Quinones? I lost your sound, Brian.
I haven't listened to Manny.
He is amazing. And if you go into, so he's in the live sessions, and then you go to his favorited sessions, and in there he has like 8-day boot camps. And man, just start at day 1 on the boot camp and go through it. It is so much useful information. He is by far the best educator, short of Jeff and Brian, of course. But I mean, just in the IM Academy, man, he's got great information.
Yeah, I'm in IM under Jeff.
Okay. Well, check out Manny and see what you think. He's quite good. It's quite good. He also has a website too. If you don't want to sort through the IM, it's through IM. But if you just do Manny Quinones, if you just do a Google search, all of his videos are there. Quinnones, I believe. In fact, let me just show you real quick. Does anybody have any other questions about anything to do with anything we've been talking about here? Because I'm about to jump off. Otherwise, I want to show you Manny real quick, Brian. Right here. Manny Quinones. You see he's on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then if you click here and go down to favorite sessions, Forex for Beginners Boot Camp, Forex for Beginners Boot Camp. This is the stuff you want, man. His master classes are the ones I've been going through. Market geometry. I love market geometry. Master class. This stuff is it's such useful information. I mean, so much of my learning has come from this guy. I've gone through all of these courses here, all of them, but the mastery classes, and they're quite good. But I mean, look at all the stuff here. Here's another boot camp right here too. Yeah. Anyways, check him out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Matt, you doing okay? No questions?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. And Noah's set. Miss Jordan, are you set?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, guys. Well, sounds good. I will see you in a week, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Take care.